All right guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we are going to show you guys how to chip a little bit more efficiently with some better technique. This is going to be really easy, so don't go anywhere. Check this out.
So from this distance, you feel like you actually hit it probably a good golf shot to get here.
Yep.
You barely missed the green, and now this I feel like is the difference between say a 9 handicap and a scratch player.
Yep. So we have Logan here. Logan here is a 9 handicap, and he said the other day that he was struggling with the shots. We're going to take him through a little bit of a setup issue, a little bit of a setup fix to really help navigate some things. So we'll step on this side of the golf ball. So most players, and even probably you will do this, is when you set up to your shot like this, you're not really thinking about where the club is like lying in space. You're almost going to treat it like an iron shot, as if you would. Or like some higher handicappers will set it up where the handle sits in the same position, their feet are super wide. Now, when you make chips like this, let's make a couple chips just like that first. So just chip one from here like you normally would. Okay. And we'll talk about what it looks like. So most guys will do the square face, open stance, and they'll try to like a little bit of a cut across it. And we'll see what this looks like. Even hit the flag. So would have been past.
It was going quite past.
It was going quite past. So would have been past hole, which is okay, and a pretty big swing. So most of the time, and this grass specifically is like super sticky. So what I want you to do is you can keep everything the same, but all I want you to do, and it's gonna be very simple. I'll put this on the camera so you guys can see. Is he was essentially laying the club. If the ground was like this, he's laying it flat so the club lays flat. What we're gonna get you to do is choke down, stand closer, and actually get the heel elevated. Okay. Because what's gonna happen is when we start cutting through rough like this, the heel is gonna come through first for the most part. So that's where we get some like inconsistencies with club face, or you get it coming out really hot, maybe even really soft. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna elevate the heel, and we're almost gonna play it, not off the toe, it's still gonna be off the center, but it's gonna come out very dead. So it's not gonna come out with a lot of spin, but what's gonna happen is, at least from this angle, you're gonna essentially take the club from laying flat, and we're gonna stand it almost vertical.
Okay, and this would be a rough technique, not a fairway?
You can actually do this for shorter shots on the fringe or in the fairway as well. I only like to do this when it's I only really like to do this when it's predominantly heavy rough, because essentially the club face will rattle when the hosel comes through first. So you're gonna feel like the club is almost standing up completely vertical. So you're gonna choke down just a little bit. You can still keep the ball in the center to back of your stance, and we're just gonna elevate the heel just a little bit. And you're gonna notice after a couple of these, it's gonna come out fairly dead. So you can still make a fairly, I wouldn't say a big swing, but you can still make a fairly good run at it. But I would say no more than like knee height to knee height, and you can literally just treat this as a putt, because your wrists should not be breaking over a shot like this. It's literally just going to be almost like you're feeling like you're hitting it with the back of your hand, but the handle will be elevated.
And that's the thing, you said it should feel like a putt, because when you're at this distance, how far are we from the hole here? 10 yards?
Yeah, I would say probably no more than like 35 feet total.
Yeah, and so from this distance, you feel like you actually hit it probably a good golf shot to get here.
Yep.
You barely missed the green, and now this I feel like is the difference between say a 9 handicap and a scratch player, is that I actually hit a pretty good shot to get here, and it's a close shot. I feel like I should be able to get this up and down at least a decent amount of the time. So if we could get this feeling consistent like a putt, that would be...
So realistically, we don't want to have the lead wrist break.
Okay.
You can probably take this back to about here, and it's literally just going to be almost like a knee to knee shot.
Okay.
But it's going to come out a lot more consistent, and you didn't even hit that good, and we're still proximity wise pretty decent. So let's hit a couple more. We won't give you the best lie because we don't want to.
Yeah, we don't want to cheat here.
Yeah, there you go. But same kind of thing, just like knee height to knee height, and just treat this like a putt. So now he's actually like grazing through the grass, and you're gonna have a lot more of a consistent strike coming through here.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so you like, and the beauty part about this is it's not even about hitting it better, it's about when you hit it not very good. So that was a little bit of a shitty one, but that's okay. You're not gonna hit everyone perfect. No, but what this is gonna do, you still have to produce a little bit of force through the club, but what's gonna happen is your bad ones won't be as bad.
Come on, dude.
So you're within 5 feet, realistically tapping it in, right? So now we're in a place where missing the green, you're like, okay, not that big of a deal if you happen to put yourself here. But like you said, like a scratch player is gonna get this up and down 60, 65, 70% of the time, double-digit cap or pushing double-digit caps, maybe 1 in 5, right? So now you're like, okay, now you might not necessarily get it up and down more frequently, you might not necessarily get up and down every time, but you're gonna get it up and down a lot more frequently. Right. So as you guys can see, even just by his reaction, it's pretty cool to see just that little bit of a change can make that much of a difference. So for those of you guys at home that you get stuck in the hay, and again, this is only going to be for chipping. We don't want to be doing full shots this way, but anything inside of like 20 yards you can do this with, and just depending on what kind of club you're using, depending on what the type of shot you're trying to hit, this is going to be very valuable. So get yourself a couple golf balls, get in the rough 10, 15 yards away. The goal is to put the club head or the handle standing up a little bit more. You can still have your open stance, you can still have the middle, the back, and again, you're essentially just trying to hit it with the back of your hand and treating it like a putt. So the club actually won't grab on the way through. So you can hit a weird one.
That. It feels like it sort of just cuts through the grass a lot easier.
Yeah, whereas if you have the heel, not the heel down, but the handle back into like an iron shot, you're really having to fight the grass, and it's going to be a lot more grabby, whereas when the handle is a little bit stood up a little bit, it's just a lot easier to actually get through the grass and get obviously a more consistent strike. Give that a shot, guys. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to, but again, it's just going to depend on what kind of lie you have. It's going to work if you have a really crappy lie. It's going to be really good. If you have a really good lie, you have more options, obviously. The handle up a little bit, and then that way it won't grab through the rough, and just treat it like a putt. So as you guys can see, it's already working for a 9 handicap, so hopefully it's gonna work for you guys as well. Give that a shot, hopefully it helps, and we'll see you guys for the next one.